So what is CSS? Well, CSS stands in for Cascading Style Sheets. It's a way that enables you to control the look and feel of your pages. If you want to apply a specific color, a specific size, a specific font family to your text in all your web pages of your websites, so CSS is a good way that can enable you to do so. So that is one of its advantages, because it enables you to put styles into a separate file, and then you will link that file from your web page. So one of the advantages of CSS, it enables you to put all the styles. You define which size to be used, which text color, which font family, and so on, in a separate file that you will have to save. Then each page you create, if you want it to have the same text properties, you will have to call this file of CSS from within your separate web page. In this video, I will show you how you can call a separate CSS file and you use it in a web page. So CSS, or Cascading Style Sheet, has a syntax as you see it displayed on the screen. There is what we call the selector. This is the style which we define. Here in this case it is called H1. Then we have the braces, opening and the closing one. Inside the braces we have what we call properties, which are attached to this selector. The first property here is called the color, and its value is blue. Then we use a semicolon to separate one property from other properties. So color property is separated from font size property using this semicolon. So the value of font size property is 12 px. Px means pixels. So from Sublime Text, we create a new file. We save it. You remember in the previous video we created a folder called HTML on the desktop. So this file, we call it second.html. So immediately all of these tags they come in. We call it second web page like this. Now, to use Cascading Style Sheet, we will have to include style here within heading, head opening and head closing tag. So the styles are going to be written in between style opening and style closing. Let's say H1 is the selector number 1. We call it color. Let's say blue. So this is the selector, which is H1. This is the first property, color, and its value is blue. So font family, let's say Arial. Font size, let's say it is to be 45 px. Px is pixel. Font weight, let's say it is bold. Font style, it is to be italic, like this. So we can even stop by here as far as H1 selector is concerned. Another selector we are creating is called body. So the first one, the first property is margin, px. So what is the meaning of these 4 values? So the margin, as you know, on a page, there is what we call the top margin, the right, the bottom, and the left margin. So these numbers start with the top margin. This is the value of the margin at the top of the page. This is the margin in the right side. This one is for the bottom, and that one is for the left side. So top, right, bottom, and the left. We can also use line height or line spacing as 1.5, like that. Here we can use another property called text align. We call it justify, like that. Justify uses both left and right margins. So this is our style, which has got 2 selectors, head 1 and the body. You can see the properties and values for each and every property. Now, the contents of this page are to be put here. Let's say we look for a definition of a computer. What is a computer? So let us copy this. Then we paste it here, like this. What is a computer? So this is the text which is to be formatted, or to which these styles are going to be applied. So we open this, right click, open in browser. Of course, immediately the margins are applied, the top, right, bottom, and left. Why the heading 1 has not been applied? Because we need to apply it to our text here from the beginning. We put heading 1 like this. We also put heading 1 closing at the end of the text. So when we go back to our page, we refresh. So the text should be having this same style as we have defined. The size has increased. The line spacing has been applied as 1.5. Maybe it is better to include H1 at the beginning, because this is what is a computer is being left behind. So we put this one at the top and we delete this one in the bottom, such that H1 will be enclosing all the text. So when we refresh again, you will see that even the title is concerned. So I was saying about changing the line spacing. What if we make it 3, or line height? We refresh again. Immediately you can see how it is being affected. So if you want to control your color, instead of being blue, we make it green, like this. So we refresh. Immediately the text color should do also change. What if we change the text alignment? This one, instead of being justify, we make it center. Immediately the text should be centered. So this is what we call cascading style sheet. It enables you to control the look of your page, and also it can format the contents as you have seen. So this way, the first way is using CSS within a web page, of course within HTML. There is a second way that enables you to take all these selectors, these ones, we copy them, then we create a new file. As you can see, this is heading 1 and this is body selector. Okay. So we save it in the same folder. We call it third.css. You have noticed that the extension has changed from HTML to CSS. So this is a separate CSS file that we are saving within HTML folder, and we are going to call it from within HTML. So we save them like that. Now we create a new file and we save it in the same location. This time we call it third.html. So let us look for something else. What is artificial intelligence? So first of all, we again write HTML like this. Then we paste the contents here, which are to be formatted by our selector 1 and selector 2. So within our HTML, we go to head here. The title, we make it third web page. Then we add a line which will enable us to call this third.css file and apply the selectors h1 and the body to this text. So we use a link like this, rare style sheet, type it is CSS. Hyperreference, we simply provide the name of our CSS file. This is where the link will get the selectors and the properties and the values to be applied to the contents of this page. So the first selector is body, it is given. The second one is heading 1. Then heading 1 is to be closed at this level. Like this. So artificial intelligence. It is. Then here we can put a black line to separate the title from, its definition. So this is the content. These are the selectors which we defined in this CSS file that we call the third, this saved on the desktop under HTML folder. Then this is how we have called our CSS file. So let us right click, then open in browser. We should see that what is defined in third.css has been applied to our text. Let us try to change the contents of third.css Instead of being center, text alignment, we make it justified. Font style, we delete it. Font size, we make it 50. Then we refresh again. Then line spacing, we make it 1.5 instead of being 3. We again refresh. Color, we make it blue. We refresh. So this is the output of our CSS that we created from an external file. We can even change. Here we make it 100. Here we make it 180, 120, then 140, like this. These are the margins, as you remember: top, right, bottom, and the left. We refresh, so it should change like this. So if you have like a website which is made up by 10 web pages, you can use this single file, to format the text, to control the margins, to control the font family, and so on. If you want to use all of these properties being common for each and every page, you can use this second, method of calling CSS from an external file. Thank you. See you in the next video.